Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of Let's Play Blues Together. In today's lesson, we're going to switch it up a little bit and take that major blues and turn it into a minor blues. So I'll show you how to do that with some new chords, a new scale, and a little variance of the strumming pattern that we've been working out throughout this series. So get tuned up and let's get started. All right, so let's take a look at the chords here. So the 3 chords that we need for the 12-bar blues in minor are A minor, and I'm going to show you the first position chords, and I'm also going to show you guys some chords further up the neck that you can try as well. So A minor, pretty easy. Middle finger here on the 2nd fret on the G string. Should sound like this. Second chord is D minor. So instead of playing D7 in this blues, we're going to play a D minor chord. So middle finger on the G string 2nd fret, ring finger on the C string 2nd fret, and index on the E string 1st fret. And then we have an E minor chord. So the E minor chord, index on the A string 2nd fret, middle on the E string 3rd fret, and ring finger on the C string on the 4th fret, and that sounds like this. And then the last chord that I'm going to show you is an E flat minor. So we're going to use this in the walk down portion of the blues. So in order to play an E flat minor, you're going to take this E minor shape, and here's your normal E minor shape. You're going to take your ring finger and move it up to the G string on the 4th fret. And then what you're going to do is take your pinky and put it underneath your ring finger here on the 4th fret on the C string. So that makes your E minor look like this. I call this the big E minor. So in order to make this an E flat minor, I'm just going to shift down 1 fret, and that becomes an E minor chord. Looks like Dexter's having some fun back there behind us. So those are the first position chords that you can use. So if you're comfortable playing a lot of different songs with A minor, D minor, and E minor, you can obviously just use these first position chords. Now, if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, try a couple different new chord variations and kind of start utilizing a little more real estate on the neck, I'll show you a couple different options here. So for A minor, you're going to just take your ring finger, put it on the G string on the 5th fret, middle finger on the C string on the 4th fret, pinky on the E string on the 5th fret, and index on the A string on the 3rd fret, and that sounds like this. So listen to the difference between open A minor and then our new A minor up here. This is a really nice shape. I really like to use this one. The other variation of D minor that I have for you here, I'm going to give you a couple different options here. So we have our first position D minor here. So we can also make this into a D minor 7 chord. And the way you're going to do that is just taking your pinky, put it on the A string on the 3rd fret. So this is just an option if you want to kind of just do a chord extension while you're playing D minor. You can play this D minor and add the pinky for a little more color. So that's a D minor 7. You can interchange the minor 7 chords as well with this blues pattern. So I'll give you guys a couple of options for those too. So the other way that you can play D minor is up here, ring finger on the 7th fret, and then your index finger barring the 5th fret on the C, E, and A strings. So that sounds like this. And then finally, our E minor, we can play up here by just taking this D minor shape and moving it up 2 frets. So now we're on the 9th fret with our ring, and our index is barring the 7th fret. So this is pretty cool when we want to do our walk down, because we can kind of do this high register sounding walk down here. So it would go E minor, E flat minor, D minor. So there's an option. If you want to try those different variations of the chords, you're more than welcome to. The last one I'll mention here again is if you want to play your E minor with the walk down here on the first position, I would take and put my ring finger on the top string and my pinky underneath it here for my E minor chord as well. So those are the chords that we'll use here for the minor blues today. Let's get into the strumming pattern now. So this week I'm going to show you a little nuance that can really add some flavor to this muted strum pattern that we've been working on the first couple of days here. So again, the strumming pattern is a variation of the island strum. So if you remember the island strum, it's down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, and 4, and. So what we're going to do to make this a little more bluesy is, again, we're going to go down, mute, up, and then up, mute, mute. So again, that's down, mute, up, then up, mute, mute. Now, the variation, this is the secret sauce here. So what you do on the first down strum is you create a staccato down strum. So rather than it being a legato strum, which would sound like this, so legato, longer duration, staccato, short duration. So it's going to kind of create this little pop bounce sound when I do this as a staccato, and then I'll show you how to do the staccato version. So listen to the difference between here on A minor with legato and staccato. So that little shortened duration strum is what creates that bounce every time you land on the first down strum. So how do we do that? So I go through, I strum, just holding my A minor chord as I normally would, but as soon as I cross the end of the strings here, I'm going to mute the strings. So I just take my ring finger and lay them on top of the strings. So as you lay your ring finger across the strings, you're not compressing the strings, you're just touching the strings. And that stops the vibration of the strings, and that makes it into a staccato strum. So now if you put the staccato into the strumming pattern, it'd sound like this. So it'd be down, and then mute, up, and then up, mute, mute. So let me play that a little faster here so you can hear what it sounds like in context. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down, mute, up, down, mute, up, mute, mute, down, mute, up, mute, mute. So that is something that you can add if you want to kind of create more of a bluesy feel. So let's say you've been playing through the 12-bar blues these first couple days, and everything is working as far as the chords and the strumming goes, but you just don't really feel like it has a mood to it. This little staccato strum really adds that bluesy mood to it, that bounce, that kind of feel and rhythm that you feel when you feel the blues. So try this out. It might take you a while to conquer the little staccato strum, but just stick with it. It's going to be a process of learning a new technique, and that takes time. That's the strumming pattern. We have the chords. Now let's take a look at a little scale that we can use to play some solo notes here over our blues progression. So we're going to be in the key of A minor. So instead of using the blues scale, which you can obviously use as well, we're going to use the minor pentatonic scale. So I'm actually getting a lot of these scales from a book called Hal Leonard's Ukulele Scale Finder. I'll leave a link in the description for that if you want to check out scales in every key. It's a really cool book. It has a lot of stuff about the modes and other things if you're trying to get more into some of the single note playing stuff. So this scale is pretty easy and very similar to the major scale that you would play in the key of C, because A minor is the relative minor of C. They share mostly the same notes, so you're actually going to be playing pretty close to the C major scale here. So let's check it out. First note, open C string. And if you're wondering how to pluck these notes, I'm taking my hand, putting it underneath the body to stabilize my hand, and then just using my thumb to pluck these single notes here. So we have the C note open first. Our second note is D, and we're going to play that with our middle finger because we're trying to allocate one finger to each fret when we play scales. So I have open C string, and then middle finger, second fret. That's a D note. Then we move down and play the open E string. And then with our ring finger, we're going to play the G note here on the third fret. And then we have open A string. And then we play our last note, which is a C note here on the third fret on the A string. So the scale in full is C, D, E, G, A, C. So some of you have asked me, well, how do I apply these scales now as I'm playing? And my answer is, a lot of it is experimentation. I would say to choose a couple of notes and try to create really short, simple phrases to start. A term that I like to use is call and answer. Leave a little breath in your playing, try to play a little melody, and then leave a little space or a breath in between and try to answer that melody. So I think that's something you can kind of incorporate as you play over the progression. If you have more questions on it, leave them in the comments below. So I'm going to give you a second pattern now as well that you can use for this A minor pentatonic scale. So it's going to use all of the same notes. We're just going to shift up the starting position here to the D note. So our second pattern here for A minor pentatonic, we're going to use our index finger here, 2nd fret on the C string, and then we go to the 4th fret on the C string with our ring finger. Then we move down to the E string and play with our middle finger the G note. So we have D, E, G. And then with our pinky we extend out to the 5th fret here and play an A note on the E string. We move down with our middle finger to play the C note here on the 3rd fret on the A string. And then finally we end the scale on D, which is where we started in the octave, here on the 5th fret on the A string. So let me run through that pattern. So we have 2, 4, 3, 5, 3, 5. So again, pick a few notes out of that scale. Let's say you just want to use the bottom 2 strings if you're trying to come up with a riff. Pick little melodies out that are simple. You might have to try a bunch of different options and variations until you find one you really like, but there's all kinds of different options here with just a few notes that you can incorporate in there. So those are 2 scale patterns that I'll leave you guys to try out over the progression as we get into the play along here of the minor 12-bar blues. All right, so let's put this all together now. Again, if you're not familiar with the 12-bar blues, I'll leave a link in the description. You can check out the formula for this, but we're going to follow the same 12-bar format we've been using throughout the series. The only difference, we're using minor chords. So when I play through this, I'll show you the easy form of the chords, and then I'll move up and do the higher variations as we go flowing through the 12-bar progression here. So we're going to use the metronome at 90 BPMs to give us a little tempo here. If you're practicing this on your own, you're welcome to use this at 80 or 78 just to kind of get acclimated with everything here. So we're going to go at 90 today, and I'm going to incorporate that little staccato part to the strum so you can feel what this kind of bounce creates here. So here we go. A few times through, get tuned up, smile, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to the 4 chord. Back to 1. Then to the 5. And then the turn around. Moving up. Hear the difference there? It's pretty cool. Back to the 4 chord. And these are even easier to mute. Going up to the E minor. Back to the easy chords. D minor, 7 chord. Back to the 4 chord. Add the pinky. Going to the E minor. high versions to finish it off. Then D minor. Going up to the E minor. Turn around. 2, 3, A minor. Woo! Are those minor blues moody or what? That was a lot of fun teaching you guys how to play the 12-bar blues in the minor progression, using a new scale, having some fun here and jamming along together today. If you guys like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below if you have any questions or feedback, and let me know, where are you playing the blues around the world? I love hearing from you guys, so make sure you keep in touch. I also want to mention, if you like this uke, I am now a Kala affiliate, so you can purchase any Kala ukulele you would like on my website, allforuke.com. You help out the channel, support the ukulele movement, and you know what? During these times, everybody could use a little ukulele break from the world. So check those out if you get a chance. Thank you so much for checking this out. I also want to finally just mention, I have a PDF for this lesson along with the scale and all the different chord diagrams that I went over today. You can get those at allforuke.com. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much for joining me.